Welcome to The Real Truth About Drugs. My name is Rose, and I have, boy, what a story. Another story for you guys today. So, as you guys may know, I have been very closely following the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard defamation trial. And like many of you have thought along the course of the details that have arisen during the course of the testimony, the witnesses, and the evidence, you might have asked yourself, how is it possible that Johnny Depp lost the original UK libel trial? And I have asked myself that as well. So here's the topic of today's video, and it is not a conspiracy theory if the allegations have facts, provable facts behind them. So, the big question is, how could Johnny Depp have lost the UK libel trial with so much evidence behind him? Meanwhile, Amber Heard has how much evidence? Cue the crickets. Nothing. Now, during his representation in the UK libel trial, his lawyer said, and I quote, "The desperate Sun tabloid read out a text today without realizing how much profound truth it contained." They were talking about a text in which Johnny Depp alleges that Elon Musk is supporting Amber Heard in her elaborate hoax, as he called it, her false abuse allegations. This is far worse than a hoax, because not only is it damaging and devastating to real domestic violence survivors, but Johnny has been able to turn that negative into a positive by allowing it to shine light on the fact that domestic violence survivors can be anyone, can be a man or woman, and that DV does not discriminate. You could be a man, woman, black, white, rich, or poor. These things are universal, and that is also important. Also, to stand by what they mean when they say believe the victim. If we are to believe the true victims, then we are to believe the victims when they speak the truth, and Johnny Depp has spoken the truth. Just because the victim in this situation happens to be a man, victim of a narcissistic serial abuser, does not mean that it didn't happen. So back to the topic at hand. I will prove in this video that my allegation holds water. That not only is Elon Musk behind and likely possibly helped Amber with not only planning but carrying out her false claims against Johnny Depp. So what did that text message say exactly? The text in which Mr. Depp speculates that Elon Musk is secretly supporting Amber Heard's hoax is curious in light of this fact. The Murdochs own the Sun, and a Murdoch serves on Elon Musk's Tesla board of directors. And now let's watch a clip from one of the people who got me really into this case several years ago. A user called Incredibly Average. I will link the video in the description below. And please go ahead and support him and subscribe to me as well before you do that first, because he has done a lot of in-depth research, really, really good research into these topics, which actually got me thinking and got me down the road of research myself, hence this video. So not only do the Murdochs own the Sun, the tabloid newspaper, which Johnny Depp attempted to sue for libel in 2016, but the Murdochs also serve as on the board of director of Tesla, which is Elon Musk's infamous company. But that's not it. The ties go so much deeper. So let's get into it.
In the summer of 2016, while Amber was publicly attempting to destroy Johnny with her allegations of abuse, he was texting back and forth with a close friend, Christian Carino. In one text, the Sun read aloud, in which Johnny refers to Elon Musk as Mollusk. He tells Carino, "She is begging for global humiliation. She's going to get it. She sucked Mollusk's crooked dick, and he gave her some shitty lawyers." This seems to me that Johnny is thinking Elon was backing Amber during the divorce and Amber's initial allegations. A statement from Adam Waldman, an attorney for Johnny, leads me to think he could still be doing just that. He stated that the Sun didn't even realize how much profound truth the text they chose to read aloud contained. He continued, Johnny was speculating that Elon was secretly helping Amber with her abuse hoax, adding that the Murdochs own the Sun newspaper, and a Murdoch serves on Elon Musk's Tesla board of directors. I decided to look into that. It didn't take much looking to make the connection. James Murdoch, son of Rupert Murdoch, who owns News Corp, which owns the Sun newspaper, is on Tesla's board of directors as one of its top investors. Interesting. So why would Elon still be helping his ex-girlfriend Amber, who he did officially date for some time after her divorce from Johnny? Believe it or not, the answer could tie all the way back to March 2015, and maybe further. You see, Johnny might have good reason to suspect Musk was helping Amber. You might recall how quickly she moved on with him. Soon after her public allegations against Johnny in the summer of 2016, Amber was spotted out a number of times with Musk, like in his hotel room while they were together in Miami, or even a club in London. Employees at the Eastern Columbia building also testified to Musk being a frequent visitor of Amber's at Johnny's penthouse in LA when Johnny was out of the town or country. Alejandro Romero, who worked security for the building, testified these visits, occurring a few times a week, happened late at night and overnight, as his shift was from 4 p.m. until 1 a.m., at which time Musk would still be with Amber in Johnny's penthouse when Alejandro's shift would end. How far back does Alejandro remember these late-night visits? You guessed it, March 2015. He testified that it was around that time Amber would come to him late at night, asking him to let her friend Elon into the parking garage. Eventually, Amber would actually provide Elon with his own key fob for the parking garage and Johnny's penthouse elevator. It was during this time that Alejandro recalls Johnny being out of the country filming the latest Pirates movie and thinking of how wrong it seemed considering he and Amber were married. He also specifically remembers these visits from Elon occurring when the news hit that Johnny had injured his finger in Australia in March of 2015. Recently, the Daily Mail ran a story with photos of Elon and Amber riding in Johnny's penthouse elevator. Amber appearing out of sorts in my opinion, attempting to cover what could be her naked body with a throw or a towel, while the two lovers snuggle close together. Not sure when this is from exactly, but it does add validity to the testimony given by the building staff that Musk was a frequent visitor, as this is the elevator that goes to Johnny and only Johnny's penthouse. They certainly seem comfortable.
So was there a conflict of interest when Johnny Depp attempted to sue the Sun tabloid in the UK? Absolutely, there was. There is no question about it at this point. With all the information that we have, it's not an allegation. It seems to be a provable fact. So, first of all, speaking of facts, let's go back to the fact of the date that Amber Heard claims that she met Elon Musk. So, in her newest testimony, spectacle, scene she did in her attempt to act, because she is a terrible actress, she claims that she met Elon Musk in May of 2016 at the Met Gala when Johnny Depp allegedly stood her up. Might have been probably the same day he like the other time that he stood her up during her birthday when his mother was dying in the hospital. So, she claims she met Elon in May of 2016, and yet Alejandro Romero, the doorman at the Eastern Columbia building where Johnny Depp lived with Amber Heard during the majority of their 15-month marriage. You guys remember him? Let me play a little clip in case you guys don't, because he's pretty unforgettable. There's no way to forget him. He was my favorite witness. Number 2 being Isaac, who I also loved, but Alejandro, he's the cherry on the sundae. I'm sorry, the guy's unknowingly amazing. He is one of those people who is just unknowingly hilarious. So let me play a little clip just because he's awesome and I want to include him. And then let's go back to what he claims, which we all know is true and believe.
May 24?
Yes.
Yep, no, it's Tuesday.
But in fact, you don't recall seeing Amber Heard on May 24th, correct?
I don't remember. I don't even remember what I got for breakfast.
Okay.
I work out the front desk of the Eastern Columbia building.
Over the line. So the incident was May 21st, 2016. You saw her the night of May 25th, correct?
Correct.
You said, would you remember on any daily basis what type of hairstyle she was wearing?
Nope. No. 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 No.
Would you be able to testify to any of those? What she was wearing, what her makeup was, what her hairstyle was?
No, I probably won't remember.
Total that you interacted with Amber Heard.
For a whole year, I can give you a number.
None of that was on video footage, correct?
That's correct. We don't have cameras in the videos. Sorry, we don't have cameras at the hallway. We don't have cameras on the hallway.
Not only was Amber Heard having an affair during her marriage to Johnny Depp, but she met him way before the day she alleges, May 2016. And how do we know this? Because not only do we have evidence, an article of the Daily Mail showed that Elon Musk was a regular visitor to the Eastern Columbia building, but not just that evidence, but we also have Alejandro's testimony, where we can go ahead and read some of that, where he alleges that Elon Musk was a routine visitor, and it wasn't in May of 2016, as the turd alleges. It was going as far back as, you guessed it, March 2015. The date that the supposed first attack on her happened. Coincidence? Well, I don't believe in coincidences. So let's read some of Mr. Alejandro Romero's testimony. So he testified in a written deposition. When asked how frequently did Mr. Musk visit the building, he said a few times a week. And you said this was before the incident in May of 2016, and he said that is correct. When asked to indicate how far back the visits began, he indicated that it was as far back as March of 2015, over a year before Amber Heard alleges that she even met him. Not only that, but it went as far, this wasn't just visits, friendly dinners or whatever. Alejandro also testified to the fact that it went as far as her, meaning Heard, or Turd, asked Alejandro to provide a fob for Elon to be able to just come up whenever he needed to. So that's how friendly they were. So when asked about what time these visits typically took place, Alex Romero said in his testimony, he was asked, when you say late night, what do you mean? I'm talking about around 11 p.m. midnight, near the end of your shift. That's right. And at those times when Mr. Musk would be granted access at Ms. Heard's request late at night, would Mr. Musk leave while you were still on your shift? No, was his response. So when you would leave your shift, which ended at 1 a.m., it was your understanding that Mr. Musk was still in the building. And he responds, that is correct. He goes on to say, as I mentioned earlier, there was a gentleman that used to come. Question, do you know who the gentleman was? Answer, Elon Musk. Question, what do you recall about Mr. Musk visiting Ms. Heard in the Eastern Columbia building? Answer, well, she used to call me telling me her friend was coming and to give him access to the garage and into the building and send him up to the penthouse. And then after probably a couple of visits, Amber provided him with a garage remote and key fob. When you say it wasn't right, can you tell me what you mean by that? Because this guy, I could tell just by looking at him, he is a good man. He is honest, he is decent, and unlike the turd, he knows right from wrong. Like many of us do, except for Amber. He goes on to answer, well, she's a female, he's a male. Both of them by themselves upstairs is, she's married. I don't know Elon Musk personally. I don't know if he's married or not. I don't know anything about his personal life. Can you help us set this in time a little bit more? You mentioned that Mr. Depp was away filming a movie. I think you said in the Caribbean? Answer, I think so, yes. Was it Pirates of the Caribbean? Answer, that's correct. So he goes as far as to correctly admit, I wouldn't say admit because he's not admitting to anything, but he is able to clarify that Elon Musk would come continually over the course of several months every time that Johnny was away filming a movie. So we know that their affair began far before that. And we also know that when they broke up, Elon Musk told a magazine, and I will look up that link to link it in the description below, that Amber Heard has broke his heart. So it's not, crazy to speculate that he, rightfully so, would have been jealous of Johnny Depp and likely angry that she was so obsessed with him, and that even after their breakup, she still wanted to be with him. Even if it was just for the money, because, my own speculation is that she doesn't even really like men. I know that she's stated that she dates, that she's bi as well, but I don't believe that she really likes men. I think because of her histrionic and narcissistic personality, she, that's a typical, personality trait and characteristic of someone who is narcissistic, to date people who they base their self-esteem on the status, the caliber of the person that they're dating. So she went from Johnny Depp, who is the most famous man, the most beautiful man in the world, to Elon Musk, who is not very nice to look at, and probably not the nicest person either, especially with everything that I have figured out about him, but also, not very good looking. So it's not hard to imagine that he would have been extremely jealous of Johnny Depp, and not only helped Amber Heard, because I believe that she actually saw him a few days after May 21st, between the dates of May 21st and May 27th, when she supposedly filed her supposed TRO and had those pictures where she had bruising on her face. She had been known to have seen Elon Musk within those days. So it's not either he helped her plan this and hit her, allegedly, or I've also heard, and this part is speculation, it's rumors, it's not factual like everything else in this video. There are people who allege that he is into very kinky S&M things, likely like being hit and spanked, etc. So either they got rough and she got bruised up during their intimate escapades, and he knows this, or he planned it with her. Either way, it doesn't look good for him as a person. Now that we've gone through all of this, let's get into the ties of Judge Nicol, who was the judge who overlooked the proceedings of the UK libel trial, and his ties to the Sun, and why it was that Johnny Depp didn't receive, he never had a chance, to receive a fair trial, and seemingly Amber had this planned out from years before. I had asked myself, if you guys haven't seen my Surviving a Narcissist video, it has a clip from another one of Incredibly Average's video where she talks about having planned this out for 3 years, and the makeup and the pictures, and, just as Camille Vasquez asked her in her cross-examination yesterday, you like to take pictures of your husband sleeping. She'd been planning this, but conveniently, of all the pictures she ever took of Johnny Depp sleeping, of all the alleged 14 instances of abuse, she never took one picture of bruises or anything broken. Why? Because they didn't happen. None of it ever happened. And the ties, the people that she sleeps with, have so much power to help her in instigating this enormous lie and fabrication to ruin a man's reputation and get as much money out of him as she can. But I think more important than that to her was this idea of getting, this victimhood, this sympathy, being the hero, and ultimately what was most important to her, what Johnny Depp alleged: fame. She wanted to be famous. She was jealous of Johnny Depp and, how much attention he got and how world-renowned he was, and on top of everything, being such a beautiful, generous, kind individual. And she wanted people to think the same thing about her, and at the same time, ruin that for him, because I think that it drove her crazy what a wonderful guy he was. And she wanted to destroy his reputation. And in that process, she has gained not fame, but infamy. So now that we have covered not only Elon Musk's ties to the Sun newspaper, but his possible and likely motivations for doing such a horrible thing, let's look at the other side of the table. Now, in case you are unaware, the judge from the UK libel trial, who oversaw the entire process, is called Justice Nicol. So what is his full name? So for those of you that were not aware, what I am talking about is the first libel trial that took place, I believe, in So, as I was saying, for those of you that are not aware, the original UK libel trial, which was Johnny Depp versus Sun newspaper in the UK, in which he alleged that he was defamed by an article that was printed, I believe, in 2018, in which they showed an altered picture, which we already know the picture in itself was fake, but it was even further altered, of a supposed beat-up Amber Heard on the cover, and then continued by calling Johnny Depp a wife beater, which is essentially what caused the beginning of this whole mess, and also gave the turd the support that she needed, because now there was supposed articles of newspapers that are supposedly reliable that are alleging that these lies that she's saying are true, and it basically gave her the impetus and the fuel to continue on her tirade and smear campaign against Johnny Depp, which, if you haven't seen my other video, Surviving a Narc, is a staple of narcissistic abusers. It's something that they tend to do when they discard their narcissistic supply, which in this case was Johnny Depp. So getting back to the discussion, the investigation that I primarily used in my research is an exclusive investigation, an exclusive 8-part investigation of an independent review of the Johnny Depp libel trial by an organization called Intelligence UK International that tends to overlook and review jurisprudence cases and determine whether it is within the scope of the law that things were handled properly, or if they were improperly handled. So let's look at Justice Judge Nicol, who was the person who presided over this case. Now, first of all, as we had discussed, in this libel trial, Johnny Depp was suing the publisher News Group Newspapers Ltd, who is essentially the owner of Sun newspaper, for their defamatory allegations of calling him a wife beater without any thing to back that up, which a legitimate news source is supposed to do. So we clearly see here that it's a tabloid, just as his attorney had said, and rightly so. So in this 8-part investigation, the first part and the next 6 focus primarily on looking at the fresh evidence that was not used during the proceedings. Not only was it not used, but Justice Nicol did not allow its inclusion. He deemed them to be inadmissible, the majority of the evidence that proves that all of her allegations are false. And on the other side, which you see his clear bias, he allowed all of Amber Heard's supposed evidence, including mention of 12 of the 14 supposed assaults that took place during the time, allegedly, according to her things that she made up as she went along, during the course of their 15-month marriage, and actually before that, I'm guessing. But what I'm going to focus on is simply the conflict of interest and the bias that makes it so that he should not have ever presided over this case to begin with, by law, not by opinion, but based on the laws of the UK. There is a clear bias and conflict of interest that should have made him, should have precluded his overseeing of the trial. And clearly he knew this. There's a reason that he was chosen to oversee the trial. This wasn't a coincidence. Oh, it just happened to be him and he should have known the conflict of interest and stepped aside. No, he was chosen for a reason, because the people who are in power had not only a vested interest in this, but they put in a few calls, allegedly. And, it's as simple as that. That's exactly how it works. That's the way corruption works. That's the way our supposed justice system works. That's the way politics works, corporations, all of it. Money is what runs the world. And unfortunately, that is the injustice that ultimately is the conclusion of all of that corruption, when people in power are the ones who run the show. So, getting back to the matter at hand, who is Justice Nichols, and why did I mention that the ultimate corporation that Johnny Depp ended up suing was News Group Newspapers Ltd, as opposed to just Sun? It's not just Sun who owns this, it is this parent holding company, and that's going to be important. Why? So as I said, they go into a very in-depth 8-part investigation, which if you want to look at it, I'll link it in the description below. Again, a shout out to Incredibly Average, great channel, definitely subscribe there too, and check out all his other videos. Very in-depth, very factual, concise, and brilliant in my opinion. So as I said, they go into a lot of the details of much of what we've gone over in this trial, and a lot of that has also been included in those videos that I just mentioned. So unlike a lot of people who have been incredibly surprised during the duration of the trial at all the evidence, not just the witnesses, but all the evidence that has come to light, I knew a lot of those things because of these videos. But these things that I'm talking about right now are new. No one has figured out the connections, and so that's why I stayed up all night to do this research and put this together and edit it, and I'm just the worst editor in the world. So if anybody wants to help me with that, please reach out to me at therealtruthaboutdrugs@gmail.com. Be more than happy to let you help me. If you would so like, please, and if you would like to, please send me a donation via my Cash App, which is also going to be in the description below. I really need it, but not just that, it's going to allow me to keep my channel running. Basically, this is a trial run. I have 2 months to build a following and see, and hopefully, see how big my channel can have the potential to be, and I know that it does. But sometimes it's good to have a limited time frame in mind, and sometimes it's extremely nerve-wracking. So please, anything you can send, whether it's $1, you just skip your coffee and send me the $3 for the day. It's so incredibly appreciated, and it will help me to continue to be here getting you this amazing content, which I have so much of. I just, so much information, so little time, so much editing, and I suck at it, as I said. So anyway, let's get back to that. Sorry about my tangent. But as I said, just so I'll shut up, just hit the subscribe button below, please. Thank you. So, as I was saying, without getting into all the evidence that this Justice Nichols concluded was inadmissible, So in the first article that they published, they alluded to potential links between Nicol J. I guess that's what they call him. That's his name. The publisher and people connected to Amber Heard. So there is much broader connections, which let's look at that now. And if you want, go ahead and download that or screenshot it, and you can take a look at it more in detail and more in depth to see all of the potential links to Amber Heard directly. But in this video, we're going to talk about his links to the Sun and Elon Musk. So, what they found in their investigation is that Justice Nichols and his wife have a very close and personal relationship with the Murdoch family. And in case you forgot what I had mentioned earlier, the Murdoch family ultimately own the tabloid newspaper, The Sun. And it goes much further than that. Additionally, the judge's son, Robert Palmer, works for a company called Talk Radio, who is a sister company and essentially also part of the Sun. So ultimately, his son works for the Sun. Could there be a bigger conflict of interest? If there is, I haven't seen one. But it goes deeper than that. So in February of 1982, when he was still a barrister, which is what in the UK they call a lawyer, Andrew Nicol, who the judge, wrote about his son and how he works for Talk Radio. So, Robert Palmer apparently had written information relating to this post on his Twitter account. And after Johnny Depp fans, awesome Johnny Depp fans, you could see that his fans are awesome because he's awesome, exposed him, then he quickly deleted the post, because clearly he is trying to conceal the link between the mainstream media magnate, Murdoch, and News Corp, who is the ultimate beneficial owner of both Talk Radio as well as News Group Newspapers Ltd, which, if you remember, is the parent company that owns the Sun. So this parent company owns everything, both Talk Radio and the Sun. And let me explain it again in case it was confusing the way I explained it the first time. Ultimately, Judge Nicol, who presided over this libel case, his son works for the Sun. And then to go a step further, Dan Wooten of the Sun, who wrote the article, is a host of Talk Radio's Drive Time show and a very close friend and associate of Robert Palmer, Justice Nichols' son. So, God, if there is a bigger conflict of interest, if there ever was, I don't know what it is, but it's pretty clear in this case. So, in conclusion, I would like to read a little bit about the law in the UK, because this might be over, but Johnny Depp has enough money that he can potentially do something about it, because not only is it a huge injustice, but it is also illegal. And just as Amber Heard, I'm starting a petition right now that she needs to be put in jail for perjury, not just in the Australia case, which I have another video coming up about that. So please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified of all this awesome new content that's coming your way, exclusive. But so not only should she be put away for perjury, as I said, not just in the Australia case, but for all the numerous times that she's perjured herself in this case, which I am also working on compiling a case of that evidence, of her lying next to not only her contradicting herself with previous depositions, but with just factual evidence showing the lies that she perjured herself with knowingly. As awesome Camille Vasquez, Johnny Depp's lawyer, reminded her, she is under oath, and when you lie knowingly under oath, it is perjury, and you should be in jail, and she should be in jail, because that's where criminal abusers belong. But if the statute of limitations has come and gone, then she needs to be put in jail for other reasons. Anyway, in conclusion of this video, so the prima facie evidence from this investigation show that Amber Heard, as well as her supposed witnesses, made knowingly false statements of truth under oath, that on the balance of probabilities they knew to be false, which essentially perjury, which happened there, but they're not going to try her for that, so it needs to happen here. The court, meaning the one in the UK that initially oversaw this libel trial, has a duty in the public interest to further investigate this matter, where such issues would amount to a contempt of court, and they're punishable for up to 2 years of imprisonment. So that's where she needs to be, but let's look at Justice Nicol and whether there could be any repercussions for him, because there should be. So under Chapter 3.1, -7 of the Civil Procedure Rules, the court has the power to vary, revoke, or set aside an order if it is in the interest of justice to do so. In this case, it's our view that Johnny Depp was ill-afforded the right to a fair trial on 2 grounds. Firstly, that fresh evidence is worthy of trial that completely undermines the case being advanced by the opposition, but which the judge did not allow admission of any of the pertinent evidence. But secondly, because it is a violation of both principles of natural justice. As alluded to in the first article, the decision is void, no matter how fair it may seem at first instance, if any decision is made by any known bias that may have affected judicial impartiality. In this case, that perceived bias is most certainly too close for comfort. So as we have noted, as we have proven in this video, clearly there was a bias. There is a clear connection, not just between the Sun and Justice Nicol, but clearly between Rupert Murdoch, Elon Musk, and Sun newspaper. So for that reason, that whole thing should have been constituted a mistrial, and Johnny Depp should be afforded the justice he deserves. Now, it's pretty clear to me by the evidence that has been presented today that Elon Musk has not only a clear motive, but opportunity to have planned this along with Amber Heard. And I believe that he did so, based on the facts that we have seen, allegedly. So, and, why, you might ask? The motive was clear. He had been having an affair with Amber Heard for more than a year prior to their divorce. Clearly he was jealous of him, not just because of his incredibly good looks, but because of him being such a wonderful person. On the same note, Amber Heard, I believe, had the same reasons. I know that people know that a lot of her reasons, and as I stated before, narcissists want attention, and she had a crazy ambition and an almost, insane lust or determination to be famous. That's really what she wanted, most intently, most of all, which is the reason why she married Johnny Depp. But I think, given that she's a narcissist, during the course of their relationship, and it's pretty clear in some videos that I've seen, I think it bothered her immensely to see not just the attention that Johnny got, but that he was such an amazing, kind, generous, empathetic person. And having myself been a survivor of a narcissistic mistreatment situation, relationship for several years, I found the same thing. I found that he was incredibly jealous of me for being the kind of person that I am, for wanting justice, for being so intelligent, for being so kind. And it was things that he lacked and that I had, and it seemed to infuriate him. And I think that narcissists all tend to have the same characteristics, and I believe the same thing has happened with Amber Heard. I think she hated Johnny, and she wanted to break this image that in her mind he had falsely created over 35 years in the media. The problem is that he had not created it. It is simply who he is. He is simply a kind, wonderful, generous and humble person, and I think a narcissist like her would never understand the motivations of someone to be that way, authentically. I think that she can't even understand it, because all she can ever do is impersonate an actual human being with feelings. And if she got along with Elon Musk, and because he, is so rich and CEO of this company, like many CEOs tend to have sociopathic tendencies, or not just characteristics, but actual sociopathic personality disorder, because a lot of the same characteristics that it takes to be a business mogul, to only worry about money and the bottom line and kind of trample through everyone with this blind ambition where you don't care who you have to run over to become rich. That's kind of what it takes a lot of the times to be these kind of business moguls and CEOs. So it's possible that he got along with her very well because they are both have some sort of personality disorder. He might be sociopath. She's absolutely a narcissist. Possibly with borderline tendencies as well as histrionic personality disorder. And he may very well be a narcissist as well, or possibly just a sociopath who, really connected with her, as Amber Heard had said. They connected on many levels. It's possible because they have the same type of personality or disorders. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it ran really long. There was a lot to get through. Please make sure you share this content. It's so important that this gets out before the end of this week, and absolutely before the conclusion of the trial. Now, if someone could let me know in the comments below. I don't know when it ends, because I've heard that it ends on the 19th, but I've also heard that on the 27th is the day of closing arguments, which is what they do right before the jury goes and deliberates. So if anybody can clarify for me, please do so. I realize after closing arguments, it takes however long for the jury to deliberate, but that's not what I want to know. I want to know when the trial ends. Does it end at closing arguments? Does it end on the 19th, and then there is a week break, and then closing arguments is the 27th? Whatever. If anybody knows, please let me know. Otherwise, then please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification below. I have all this amazing new content, just like this one, just like my previous video. If you haven't seen the one about Amber's a stripper, you need to watch it because it's true. I do not do clickbait. I work with facts, as you have seen in this video. So please, please comment below, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.